Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come once again to start talking about updates and the impending big update coming for No Man's Sky. That is right. Now, we had this discussion in January because the community felt that something was going to be released, especially with Mr. Murray saying that 2024 was going to be a big and massive year for No Man's Sky, especially with the release, or the pending release anyway, of Light Nor Fire. The community felt, especially with what Sean Murray was saying as well, that there is going to be major updates this year that will really make a staple for No Man's Sky and turn the game into everything that the team at Hello Games dreamt of and get all loose end finished up before the release of Light Nor Fire. Now, what happened in January? January, we've seen a update. Now, it wasn't the update that we wanted. It was just a smaller patch update to fix some issues with the expeditions. But that was it. But to be fair, that was still quite a major step forward. Even though it was only a small update, an update in January nonetheless has never happened in No Man's Sky's history. So the team do definitely seem to be going full steam ahead with this. But January is over with now, people. It is just about February. And February, going off previous releases, is when we can definitely expect to see a major No Man's Sky update. One that the team have been working on for months since before Christmas. We know that February is the time that big updates get released. And February, as we can already see on our calendars, today of recording is the 30th of January, so it's literally only a stone's throw away now, and then we will hit February. But when in February? When in February will we get a major No Man's Sky release? Well, looking at the patterns and looking at previous and the community feeling on all of this and going through the messages that I've been receiving about this very topic, it seems to suggest that the community feel that it's going to be anywhere between the 10th to the 26th of January. That is when the feeling is going to be, when we'll get, not just announced, but get the major update. Now, for announcements, we can now expect within the next week, possibly 2 weeks, that Mr. Murray will start picking up the patterns over on Twitter, where it becomes a lot more active. We may even get to see a trailer drop, like something mysterious. It may not be the full trailer straight away, because we know in the past we've had like trailers that have all looked disfigured and discolored, and it looked like something that you find out in the deep space on some kind of broken track record that you have to try and play and then figure out, and then it turns out to be something much bigger than what anybody anticipated. It's probably going to be something like that. So I reckon we'll get some sort of trailer announcement for the next big update within the next few weeks with an emoji drop. But another pattern to start watching out for now, especially from the 1st of January onwards, is the Steam sales. So we're talking Steam sales for No Man's Sky, the PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch sales as well, all for No Man's Sky. Once that starts happening at 50% off, we know that a big update is going to drop. Now, we know that that is going to happen. It always happens. It's never not happened like that. So next few weeks is when that's going to start dropping, no doubt, and then we'll start getting teaser trailers and then emoji drops, and then we may even get a big trailer before the big release. That depends on how Hello Games or Mr. Murray wants to work it out that way. But what do I think is going to be within this update? Do we think it's going to be everything that we've already shown in the teaser trailer when they showed the trailer for Light Nor Fire, and then obviously they showed the No Man's Sky trailer? Is everything from that trailer going to be in this update? Yes and no. I think there's going to be parts of it. I don't think it's going to be everything all at once. I could be wrong about that, so don't take everything I say here with complete gospel truth. But what I will say is we might get parts of it. Now, it could be, first of all, the procedural generated space stations, or it could be the brand new spaceships that we're seeing in the trailer. It all depends on if that's what they're bringing out first of all, and the trailer that we've seen in the Light Nor Fire campaign when Mr. Murray was on stage. Is that the trailer for this big update, or is that the trailer for the like a year map. That's the way that we have to try and see it. It's going to go one or two ways. Either it's going to be everything or it's going to be partially of it. And that's the way we need to see it. It's all going to be partial of that trailer. Now, if I was a betting man, I would say it would be, first of all, the procedural generated space stations with a brand new expedition. I don't think we'll see the new spaceships straight away, but I think it will be something quite big, just because we know that 2024 is going to be a very, very big year for No Man's Sky. So I think they're going to start off rolling out these updates, and it's all going to make up the trailer. And that's the way that I see it. It's going to be snippets in the updates, but by the end of the year, everything that we see in the trailer will be in the game. That's the way that I'm kind of trying to put this. Now, we might get procedural generated space stations, first of all, with a possible new lore coming in, because there's still a lot with the autophages that we don't yet understand, and that's kind of like in the balance. I mean, at the very end of the last major campaign with the autophages, then you could pick between one of two helmets, a blue or a red one, or if you want to be really fancy, the crimson and whatever the other one was called, the Atlantis helmet, I believe it was called. Now, that was never explained to why you had that choice, but I think that's going to be a major impact on the next big update. I think the lore is going to come back into the game, and I think there's going to be a lot to do around that. Now, we do know that, you know, we've got the frozen universe theory that's floating out there. We've got the brood mother, and we've already had messages in the files that were hidden all along where we have I see her and everything else. So there's definitely a lot of lore, and that seems to suggest that there's going to be a boss in the game or some sort of quest line that we'll need to do as part of the main story objective. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I kind of see that's coming. It's going to be a big update, and I think it's going to be a very meaty one, and I think No Man's Sky is going to start changing in a very, very big way. But let me know your thoughts about all of this. Do you think that there's going to be an update in January? When in January do you think there's going to be an update? And what do you think that's going to be in it? Do you think that it's going to be procedural space stations first, or do you think it's going to be something a little bit smaller? Do you think it's just going to be a new expedition, maybe some new quest lines to do with the autophages, and maybe, just maybe, the new ships that we've seen, the new ship type? Do you think it's going to be that first of all, or do you think it's going to be everything at once? Where do you stand in this debate? Let me know, comment section down below. Now, can I just ask, ladies and gentlemen, as well, just to double check if you are still subscribed to the channel. Lately, there's been another massive culling of subscribers, and I'm seeing it again in my comment section and people messaging me that for some reason they thought they were subscribed to myself, and yeah, they're having to resubscribe. So just double check your subscription. Make sure you definitely subscribe to the channel for all the latest news for No Man's Sky, and you'll get all the information as soon as I have it. But yeah, just double check everything, and if by obviously the end of this video, if I have earned your subscription today, if you have not been subscribed but you've been thinking about it for a while, then do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, don't forget to leave a like in the video, and as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.